afternoon. Here we are today on day 10. I gotta start my recording. Sorry about that. I'm still working on my camera. We'll see if it quits again in the middle like it did yesterday, but that's okay because we got backup here. So let's just mark our calendar that we're into day 10 of our Corona confinement. You know, today I heard something on the news that was a little bit maybe I should say unsettling. I heard someone, it was an astrologer, I heard her say that of these different planetary configurations were going to come up and it was going to get real bad. You know, in Unity we try to think more positively than that, and yet you go, how, you know, well, but it says, but the planets say. Well, for what it's worth, I used to teach astrology, and one of the things between metaphysics and all of the metaphysical world is that the universe is in a constant state of flux. I don't know if you're at all familiar with quantum physics, but in quantum physics they say that the subatomic particle responds to the consciousness of the observer. So, and this has been scientifically proven. So there's this activity goes on, and the subatomic particles are influenced by the consciousness. What better way, what better reason to lift our consciousness up than know that we are a part of how things turn out? So whereas there are a lot of doom speakers and stuff like that, I think that we need to do the right thing for us, which is watch our consciousness. You know what? Life is a great experiment, and this is one of the experiments that we can do every day to work on our consciousness. You'll notice my hair is getting a little bit more unruly every day. I don't know. We'll see what I've got growing when we walk out the other side of this. But so remember, no matter what you hear, number one, you don't know if it's true or not. Number two, the universe is in a constant state of flux, and the subatomic particle responds to the consciousness of the observer. Therefore, we want to keep our consciousness high in the spiritual realm rather than down in the lower earthly. Now, I want to be real clear about this. Lower consciousness is not bad or evil. It's just not yet transformed. And that's a part of it. Our goal is not to get rid of lower consciousness. It is to uplift it, to transform it. Remember in the Lord's Prayer, our Father who art in heaven, higher consciousness, hallowed, wholeness, holiness is thy name. Thy kingdom come, the power come. Thy will be done. God's will for us is good and only good, on earth as it is in heaven. So don't we want to have an earthly experience that is heavenly? Why should we have to wait until someday when we die to go to heaven when we literally can create a heavenly way of being and living right now? So I was thinking about that and realizing I've got like 35 years of metaphysics I'd like to pour into you in one afternoon, but we know that ain't going to happen. So I'm going to try to back up a little bit. Actually, I don't have any stickies up on the board today because I'm trying to simplify and give you less broad input and more narrow input every day, so you can kind of absorb it more easily. And I would like to share first the metaphysical principles that unity is based on. Now, very important to know, unity is called a link in the great educational movement inaugurated by Jesus Christ. We call ourselves practical, we study and teach practical Christianity. Now, that doesn't mean that any other faith group is blocked out. It means that we see God everywhere present in all faiths. The first basic unity principle is that there is only one true presence and one power in the universe and in our lives, and that's God. And God is all good, and that God is divine mind. That God is both principle and personal. But God, spirit, I think it's easier sometimes to use the word spirit, because when we say God, we start to see that guy in the sky, So let's try to look at it as spirit, as the Holy Spirit, as the whole spirit, at whatever the Great Spirit, as Native Americans called it. Let's not look at how any faith group, religion, or whatever is different. Let's look at how we're all the same based on universal principle. Okay, so the first principle is there's one presence and one power in the universe and in our lives, God the good. We say God is omnipotent, which means all-powerful, omniscient, which is all-knowing, omnipresent, which means everywhere present, and omnibenevolent, which is all love. God is love. We are loving to the degree we choose to be. We also teach that each one of us, wherever you are on the planet or wherever, no matter how you are expressing at this time, we believe that everyone has a spark of divinity within them called the Christ. And that is our God piece. That's what makes us like God. And it is, everybody has it. And in unity, we call the second coming the awakening to the fact that you are a child of God, that you are divine, you are blessed, and you are here to express that divinity. Oh, golly, I can't remember which saint said it. I think maybe Saint Teresa of Avila said that Christ has no body now but ours. Ours are the eyes he sees with. Ours are the ears he hears with. Ours is the mouth he speaks with. Ours are the arms he embraces with and do the work. So that's what we believe, that we are all part of God. We teach that our mind is our connecting link with God, that we talk to God through prayer and meditation. And we like to say that prayer is talking to God, and meditation is listening for God to talk to us. It's one of my bigger challenges, when you like to talk a lot, you don't like to listen a lot. That's what I work on every morning in my prayer time. We also believe that there is one law, and that one law, the basic core law, which has many expressions, is called the law of cause and effect. Everything we put out, every cause we send forth, has an effect. I would like you to do this. Oh, you can't do this experiment because you're stuck home. Well, try it at home if there's anybody in the house but you. Just whoever's in the house with you, they start to walk by, look up and give them a big smile. And chances are they're going to give a smile back. The cause you sent forth was a smile. It was happiness. It was love. And they giving you the smile back was that energy coming back. What if they're not in a place where they can receive that? Send it out anyway, because you are sending out good. Good will come. You know that old thing about, I gave you the best years of my life? Well, you know what? Everything you send out, you're going to get back. If you send out good, you're going to get back good, whether you get it from that person or not. So stop looking at a particular person or even God to bring you everything you want. Cause and effect. Send out good cause, get good effect. The fifth principle that we focus on is that the most important part is to practice what we believe to be true. It's so easy to say, oh, I believe this, oh, I believe that. And then when it comes down to practicing it, all of a sudden it doesn't seem like so much fun anymore. A perfect example, don't be hating, it is what it is. A perfect example is tithing. People, this is not judgment, okay? To explain is not to judge. Having done and been a part of collecting many church offerings as a member of the church and as a minister in my 25 years in ministry, people, there's more tippers than tithers. You know, they throw the $2. I remember back in the day when the priest we had in the Catholic Church would say he didn't want to hear any noisy money, did not want to hear any change. And very often, I had 4 kids, I didn't have a lot of money, I didn't know about the spiritual principles of giving and receiving, so I'd scrape up whatever change I had and very quietly put it in the basket. It went with my love. But a lot of people say, oh yes, tithing is good. And I believe in that, but do you tithe? Do you give 10% of everything you've got? You know, see, a lot of people look at as God giving us stuff. We're a part of this. This is called the law of circulation. Right back to the law of cause and effect. We give, we receive. We give, we receive. So if we're giving tiny, we can only receive tiny. While we're on that topic, I would like to talk a little bit about money. Well, you know, they're looking at that bill to be signed today. That will provide money for those of us who are challenged during this financial problem we're having with being confined at home. And one of the things they talk about is the stock market. I would like to talk about the law of consciousness with the stock market. The stock market, they operate on speculation. I think this stock is going to go higher. I think this business is going to grow. I'm going to invest in it. Okay? What are you investing in? Do you know what you're investing in? I hate to admit it. I really have to get on the stick and look into it. I have faith in the company that has my little bit of retirement money in it. I shouldn't have said little bit of, because God is my constant, abundant, unlimited source. I just talk bad about my money, and I'm going to say it good. I am abundantly supplied. Okay. All right. So, people invest in the stock market. Why? To make money, you said? Is that the right reason to invest? What if you found out that a part of your mutual fund was with a cigarette company? And that cigarette company was going to just be bounding. They came out with this new cigarette that people are going to find irresistible, but it's still going to be dangerous. Is that what you want to invest in? Or do you want to invest in something else? The right way to invest, in my never to be humble opinion, and according to spiritual principle, is you give to what you want to grow. So whatever you want to grow, you give to. And that's up to each one of us to decide. Very often, leaving a humongous tip for a waitress or a waiter or service staff, when you know they're struggling to pay their college bills, you are investing in that person. So keep remembering cause and effect. Give that money with love. Give it to what you want to grow. Once the stock market stabilizes, you may want to take a look and see which funds are involved in your mutual fund. And if there's a company that you can't support what they are producing or selling, or if you found out during this downturn they didn't treat their people right or anything like that, pull your money out. Put it where you'd like to go. There are many investment companies that are based on conscious action and the highest good of the world, the highest good for the whole. There's environmental companies. There's great things. So don't be afraid to share your money. You can give to a donation. One of my favorite donations is Seeds of Peace. Now, if you never heard of Seeds of Peace, look it up online. Right now, they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, but doing the best they can. They're located in upstate New York, and they bring people from the Middle East to the United States, to their camp, and they teach them. There'll be like Israelis and Palestinians and Muslims and Christians, and they'll bring everybody together and try to teach them how to live in peace. What better thing to invest in than that? How about that one, 4 Oceans? 4 Oceans is helping to bring our ocean back to life. It's trying to fix everything. It's trying to make it better. There's so much stress about finances right now. I would really encourage you to try to take a few breaths. And as you think about, am I going to have enough money? What will I do with my money? How much can I tighten? Most of us don't look at it as constricting. Looking at it as stewardship. Every penny we get is a gift from God, and we want to use it well. We want to use it for good stewardship. I try very hard to be very prudent in what I buy and what I use. Now, it happens that I am very blessed because I love to cook. I love to eat. Therefore, it's very good that I love to cook. Now, some of you who you're always on the run, always have to buy food, eat out and stuff like that. Do you know that every time you eat out, you take the cost of the food and multiply it times 3? Imagine that. What you would make with $10 worth of ingredients, you would pay $30 to eat out. And then you'd probably add a tip onto that. What else is good about eating out? Do not get me wrong. I love to eat out. And when I eat out, which I hope we'll be able to do again soon, I don't like to go to any fast food thing. If I'm going to spend the money to eat out, I want to have ambiance. I want to be waited on. I don't want to have to take my plate and my tray to the trash. I just don't. If I'm going to spend my money, I would rather go out, excuse me, frogs, nothing else. If I would rather spend my money going out to eat once a month or even once in every 6 weeks and go out where I want to go and eat what I want to eat in the atmosphere I want to eat it, maybe candlelight, whatever. If I want to do that, I would rather do it once every 6 weeks than to go out to quick food, fast food, run and grab it here or there any day. You don't have to really sacrifice. And think about, this makes me crazy. You will go to a fast food place. I'm not going to say I never do, okay? A 7-layer burrito suits me fine when I'm on the run. But if I choose to go out, think about all the wrappers, too often all the styrofoam. So when you're being good, excuse me, when you're being good financially, you're also being good to the planet. And there's another piece of that. You are also, let's go back to energy. We've said it before, everything is energy. Here's an experiment for you to make a note on to see if you care to try it in the future. If you are in a lousy mood and you cook, there's every good chance your food is going to show it. It's just not going to be that good. But when you cook with love in your heart, the energy, the emotion, the energy of your emotion goes into that food, and you are going to cook a dish that will be wonderful. Some people can make a filet mignon that winds up tasting like dog food. And sometimes somebody can make something that looks like dog food seem like filet mignon. I put it in those terms because most people aren't vegetarians. I get that. So there's you can't look at having to tighten your belt as restriction. You want to look at it as a new way to go. It's about thinking out of the box. So if you've got challenges, if you've got financial issues, you're worried about them, try to think of, there's so many ways out of the box that we can grow. Think about bartering. You know, there are so many things. A lot of people are very concerned about their rent. Is there a possibility, out of the box thinking, is there a possibility that your apartment or your house that you rent or whatever needs some work, and that you could barter with your landlord to do some paintings? They probably can't, you know, they want to cut back on their landscaping or something, and we're there. We're where the weeds and grasses and everything is going to be growing. So look at ways you may be able to barter. Another way you want to think about is ways you can give of yourself. Sometimes you don't have money to give, but you can give of yourself. As we speak, my sister is home in her confinement, as I am, and she is whipping out masks for the health professionals that don't have the protective masks to wear. You know, they're really, really hurting for it. So you can go online and either look up your hospital or whatever, and what can I do? What can I do to help during this time? You can do so many things. You can send money. You can make masks. I can't. If I made masks, they wouldn't work. That's all I can say. That's not where my skill set is. My skill set is right here, trying to be here for you and for me, and to help us come through what we're going through in one piece. I'm trying to reach out and touch you in the only way that I can right now. That's another thing I wanted to talk about is not only, oh my gosh, wait a minute. Flash, news flash. So the news was on today. Now remember, because I said that what I said days ago. Someone was on the news today. I don't even know who he was, but he was being interviewed. He was some sort of big shot. I think he was in the medical profession, or maybe he was a governor. I don't know. But he said, they talked about the social distancing, and he said, I don't like to use the word social distancing because we are social beings and we need to be connected. So I prefer physical distancing. Ta-da! Two minds with the same great thought. But what about that lack of physical? We are distanced physically. There's nothing we can do about it. I want to tell you one thing you can do right now, right this second. I miss hugs. I miss hugs so bad. Those of you that know me know, big time hugger. So what can I do? You know what? 2 arms. I miss hugging. I miss being hugged. Join me. join me right now and hug yourself. Ah, it feels so fine. And as I feel this hug, I bring to mind all the hugs I love, my family, my friends. I'm feeling me hugging you right now, and I'm feeling you and them hugging me. That is one of the great powers of the mind that we can apply during this difficult time. At home right now, I am preparing for another way of reaching out and touching my loved ones. And that is, I'm getting ready a box to send to Tristan. Now this one's gonna be kind of lean from the usual ones. I usually count 10 things I put in the little box for him, and I try to put things in for the other kids and stuff. So I don't have 10 things this time. I did the best I can because I can't go to the store and buy stuff. I don't even want to go to the store to buy stuff. So I have to use what I've got. And I didn't make it to 10. I made it to 6 or 7 things in the box. But when they opened them, as a matter of fact, I sent another box to one of my kids, and I said, this is not what it looks like. It's not a gift. It is my love in a solid form. This is my love in a solid form. When you give a gift, remember that it's your love in a solid form. I assured them everything inside was from my home and had been in my home for at least 2 weeks and was virus-free to sanitize it if they want. And then they can just worry about sanitizing the box out when they get it. That's what I do, spray it with disinfectant. And so there are so many things that we can reach out and touch people. I hope you do that. The last thing I'd like to share today is I'd like to share a little bit about my prayer time and what I do, because a lot of people wonder, well, what do? Sit there and or read the Bible, or what do you do? And my prayer time, if I have my way, my prayer time is about 2 hours. But it's not what you think it is. It's time where I have coffee with God. I make my coffee in the morning, and I go to my room, and I sit down, and I've got all my stuff. I'm going to do a thing on prayer probably on Sunday, I'm thinking. And I'm going to show you my prayer center, which is across from my bed, and it's one place I can gaze and when I'm in my prayer time. I'll tell you how to make your own prayer time. But what I wanted to share with you today was the writing part of my prayer time. The first thing is, this is my book of affirmations. I write an affirmation every day. And this book has got a few years of affirmation. The reason I write the affirmation every day is to affirm, to make firm, to connect my thought and my feeling in what I want to see manifest in the world. We're going to talk in a few days about the importance of the hookup between thoughts and feelings. So much to say. I'm sure we will run out of confinement time before I run out of stuff to teach you about metaphysics. 35 years, you can't pack it into 30 days. This is my prayer list. Every day I go over it and see who I have to pray on. A lot of your names are in here. If you ever said you needed prayer, you're in here. I put it here, and I review it, and I hold the person in prayer when I review it. After 30 days, I write one of two things. I either write next to it RTG, which means release to God. I asked, I have confidence, God's going to take care of it. And the other is TYG, thank you, God, it is done. So this is my prayer list. I encourage you to have a prayer list. And this is my journal. I could hold this right up to you, and my deepest thoughts, you couldn't read them anyway, because when I look back, sometimes I can't even read them. But it's important to write it. And like I said, we are journaling this history that we are creating. And then I have my gratitude list. Every day, I put the date, gratitude, and I write down 5 things that I am grateful for and why. They can be anything. I try not to repeat. Let's take a look at a few of the things I've put on my gratitude list. This was, I'll make sure they're not too personal. This was 10/23/19. I am grateful the power came back on last night because it's cold and rainy and would have been unpleasant. I'll take another look. Let's see, this is 11/2/2019. I am grateful for my life because with it I can strive to make the world a better place to live. That's what my goal in life is. Another day, 11/15/19. I can't read that one. Okay. I am grateful for a good visit with the doctor and a good EKG because it is a sign of good health without medication. Take care of your health. Man, we got to be grateful for it, right? This is January 15th this year. Okay, let's see if I can read it. I am grateful for the faith God is at work in our bizarre world, bringing healing for all that is arising, because without it, life would feel meaningless and unbearable. What are you grateful for today, and why? I hope that my sharing with you some of my prayer methodology will maybe help you to take a look at yours. I also have a plan. Maybe on Sunday I'll go through my whole plan that I do. Today is Friday, and the word for today is love. And the affirmation is, I am a perfect expression of divine love. You are a perfect expression of divine love. Oh, that time goes by so fast. But I'm so glad we had this time together. I'm gazing up at my camera. I'm trying to look so I'm looking at my camera and my phone at the same time. So I hate it when I'm watching a video and it looks like they're looking somewhere else. So I'm trying to look equal. But my camera is still running. So I think maybe tomorrow morning on my gratitude list, I'm going to have, thank you, God, that my camera worked, because I'd really like to have a great video to put up. What do you think? Thanks for joining me. God bless you, and know that the light of God surrounds you, the love of God enfolds you, the power of God protects you, and the presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well. Thank you so much for joining me. God bless you. Have a good day.